Hello everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about a case that took place in the capital city of Tokyo, Japan. 3 supermarket employees were mysteriously murdered after their shift ended late at night. Despite nearly 30 years of investigation, the police have yet to identify the killer. Although the perpetrator left behind numerous clues, the case remains unsolved and has become one of the most famous and puzzling mysteries in Tokyo's history: the Hataz supermarket murders. The incident occurred in Hakioji, a city within the Tokyo metropolitan area, located 40 kilometers west of central Tokyo. Hakioji spans 186 square kilometers and has a population of 500,000. In this city stood a supermarket called Hataz. The employees working there included Noriko Inagaki, 47 years old, the night shift manager, and 2 part-time workers, Megumi Rabuki, 17, and Hidromi Maeda, 16, who were classmates. Let's first take a look at the layout around the supermarket. The main entrance was on the first floor, where the supermarket operated, while the second floor housed the office. Walking along the side of the building from the back door, you'd reach the larger front entrance, which most customers used. Some customers who drove would enter through the back door for convenience. Then, on a fateful night in July 1995, disaster struck the 3 female employees inside the store. So what happened that day? Who was responsible for their deaths? Let's rewind time to July 30th, 1995. July 30th, 1995 was a Sunday. Between 4 o'clock and 6:46 p.m., Megumi Rabuki, the 17-year-old employee, rode her bike from home to the supermarket for her evening shift. Her house was so close it only took a few minutes to get there. Working the night shift with her was Noriko Inagaki, the 47-year-old manager. Inagaki had arranged for a male friend, whom we'll call, to pick her up before 5 p.m. The two had plans to go to a bar after a shift. According to their schedule, Rabuki and Inagaki would work from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., a total of 4 hours. Their main task was cashier duty. The supermarket had 3 cash registers, but since evenings were slow, only 2 were typically open. At 6:30 p.m., the number of customers suddenly surged. That night, a celebration was happening near the supermarket to mark the upcoming Obon Festival, a Buddhist event in Japan honoring parents and ancestors. Each year, the night before the festival featured a summer event with singing, dancing, and drumming. The event began at 6:30 p.m. and ended at 9 p.m., coinciding with the supermarket's closing time. It was set to conclude with a spectacular taiko drum performance, drawing a large crowd. The event took place at Kitano Maru Park, just 50 meters from the supermarket, a mere few steps away. Naturally, this brought more foot traffic to the store as people stopped by to shop. At 6:50 p.m., another employee, Hidromi Maeda, 16, arrived at the supermarket. Though she was a year younger than Rabuki, the two were in the same class. That day, they'd agreed to watch the taiko performance together after work, so Maeda came to hang out and wait for Rabuki. By 8 p.m., with the store still busy, manager Inagaki took the cash box from a register and went upstairs to the second-floor office to start balancing the books early, hoping to finish in time for her plans. The first and second floors weren't connected internally. To reach the office, you had to exit through the back door and climb an outdoor staircase. Let's look at the office layout. The entrance was the only way in or out. Inside was a small reception area, followed by 2 desks. Next to that was a storage area with filing cabinets and office supplies, and beyond that were a changing room and bathroom. Most importantly, there was a safe. Back then, online payments or credit cards weren't common. Customers paid in cash. The supermarket collected a lot of money daily, which was stored in that safe. At 9 p.m., the supermarket closed. Rabuki took her cash box upstairs to the office to finish the day's tally. Maeda was already there, waiting at a desk. By then, the park event was winding down, with the taiko performance starting and drum beats echoing through the area. At 9:07 p.m., the park activities officially ended, and hundreds of residents began heading home. Since business had been unusually good that day, counting the money took longer than expected, causing Rabuki and Maeda to miss the taiko show. By 9:15 p.m., Inagaki finished her work and locked the money in the safe. She then called her friend A from the office phone, asking him to pick her up. 5 minutes later, at 9:20 p.m., A arrived at the supermarket's parking lot. He waited 25 minutes, until 9:45 p.m., but Inagaki never came down. Assuming she'd gone ahead to the bar, A drove there to check. When he asked the bar owner, she said Inagaki hadn't arrived. Feeling uneasy, wondering if Inagaki was still in the office, A, who was close with the bar owner, asked her to come with him back to the supermarket to look for her. At 10 p.m., A returned to the supermarket and parked in the back lot. He asked the bar owner to go upstairs and call for Inagaki, saying it wouldn't be appropriate for him to enter an office full of women. The bar owner went up the stairs alone and knocked on the office door, but got no response. She turned the handle, found it unlocked, and pushed the door open slightly. She didn't see anyone inside, partly because a cabinet near the entrance blocked her view. Out of politeness, she stayed at the threshold and didn't step in. She then told her what happened. Together, they entered the office and were horrified by what they saw. Blood splattered everywhere and the 3 female employees lying motionless on the floor. Panicked, they ran outside and called the police. The police arrived quickly after the report. In the office, they found Rabuki and Maeda on the floor, mouths taped shut, hands bound together with duct tape, each shot in the back of the head. Inagaki was found slumped against the wall on the left side, shot twice in the head. All 3 were dead. Blood was everywhere, but no bloody shoe prints were found, suggesting the killer avoided stepping in it. However, police recovered 10 shoe prints outside the bloodstains, all from the same person, size 26 centimeters, unmatched to any employee's shoes. The soles were made by a rubber factory in Hiroshima, used in 30 different sports shoe models, with over 500,000 pairs sold across Japan, making them hard to trace. The prints also contained traces of clay, moss, and fine iron powder, hinting the killer might have worked in a welding or metal shop. Fingerprints were lifted from the duct tape, not matching any employees, and DNA from an unknown male was extracted, likely the killer's. A bullet hole was found in the safe door, but hadn't been opened. The key was still in the lock, and the combination was written on a nearby note. Theoretically, the killer could have easily taken the cash, 5.26 million yen, yet it was untouched, as were the victim's belongings. Forensic analysis confirmed all 3 died from gunshot wounds to the head between 9 o'clock and 10 p.m. The bullets came from a rare .38 caliber revolver, made by a Philippine company, uncommon in Japan. Police speculated it might have been bought on the black market, possibly by Yakuza or a foreigner. Though the gun was inaccurate, the killer's precision suggested expertise with firearms. The scene didn't look like a robbery. Nothing was stolen, so police leaned toward a motive of revenge or personal conflict. The 2 teens, aged 16 and 17, seemed unlikely targets. Inagaki, 47, with her complex relationships and 2 shots to the head, appeared the primary focus. A couple later told police that 9:17 p.m., while passing the supermarket, they heard 5 loud bangs. They assumed it was festival firecrackers and ignored it. This matched the 5 shots fired, 2 in Inagaki, 1 each in Rabuki and Maeda. The timing, 2 minutes after Inagaki's call to A and 3 minutes before A arrived at 9:20 p.m., made A suspect. His actions raised questions. After waiting 25 minutes, he drove to the bar instead of checking upstairs. He then asked the busy bar owner to join him rather than going alone, and he had her go up first, avoiding being the first to find the scene. A explained that, as a man, entering an office of women felt improper, a culturally reasonable excuse in Japan. His physical traits didn't match the evidence, and no motive was found, so police cleared him. 2 other witnesses came forward. One saw a man in a white shirt and gray pants lingering around the supermarket at 5:30 p.m., occasionally peering inside. Another saw a man, aged 40 to 50, enter and exit the store multiple times at 8:30 p.m. without buying anything. Investigating the victims' backgrounds, police learned Inagaki had started at Hata's on July 1st, 1995, just a month before the murders. She'd previously worked as a bartender, had ties to the underworld, and was having an affair with the supermarket owner. Only she and the owner knew the safe's combination. The owner revealed there were 4 cameras on both floors, with footage stored for months. Oddly, the system had been disabled days before the murders. The owner was a suspect, but denied involvement. Years of surveillance yielded nothing, and that lead fizzled. In 2007, a breakthrough seemed possible. Takira, a man arrested in China for drug trafficking, faced execution. Desperate to reduce his sentence, he claimed to know about the Hakioji murders. Chinese police contacted Japan, who sent investigators. Takira said a Chinese man, F, illegally re-entered Japan in 1995 with a fake passport after a 1994 deportation and joined a local gang. Takira suspected F was the killer. Japanese police tracked F down, but he denied involvement. His gang focused on profit, yet nothing was stolen, so this lead also stalled. In 2009, bullets from another case matched the Hakioji ones, likely from the same gun. The suspect, an underworld figure, had bought on the black market, where it had changed hands multiple times, making its origin untraceable. Despite investigating countless suspects and offering a 6 million yen reward, police found nothing. In 2015, a fingerprint from the crime scene partially matched, 8 of 12 points, a 60-year-old truck driver from Hakioji's Tama area, who died in 2005. Japanese law requires 12 matching points for a definitive match, and his family's DNA didn't align with the crime scenes. The fingerprint might have come from him touching the tape elsewhere before the killer bought it. 28 years later, the case remains open. A reward sign still stands outside Hata's parking lot, offering 6 million yen for leads. Hope fades, and it's now a legendary unsolved crime in Japan. We don't know the killer's identity, appearance, or motive, or what exactly happened that night. As a criminal psychology expert, I'd argue this wasn't a random act. The killer's precision, choice of weapon, and decision to leave the money suggest a targeted, personal vendetta, likely against Inagaki, given her background and the extra shot fired at her. The teens were likely collateral damage. The lack of theft rules out robbery, pointing to a calculated act of rage or revenge, possibly tied to Inagaki's underworld ties or affair. Until new evidence emerges, justice for these victims remains out of reach. That's all for today. Goodbye.